Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a special review, impressions of a knife that I got in from Eutektik Knives. That's Liong Mah's budget line. Let's take a look. All right, today we're looking at the Eutektik binary. This is Eutektik Knives. That's a budget line from Liong Mah. Liong Mah Designs. He does a lot of really cool knives. I had the Field Duty, the GSD version 2, which is Get Stuff Done. I can't really say what it's called, but it's Get Like a Ship, but take off the P and put a T on there. That's really what the name of it is. But, you know, kids listen to this show and families and stuff, so I don't want to say the name and I don't want to get demonetized. So, but anyways, that's the other knife that he has. This right here is the binary. So I've already checked out 2 of his other ones. The first one I checked out was the Trinity. It's a really large version of his Eutektik line. That one was, pretty big. That was a pretty big knife. So, and we're going to review this one here, but the Eutektik, I always said, was a great, the Trinity was a great knife for very large hands, right? And then next I got a chance to check out the Field Duty. And the Field Duty was also another fantastic knife, definitely much smaller, and I felt like a great knife for, for more reasonable hands, right? All right, so I was looking this up. So what we have is the first knife that I checked out was the Eutektik Trinity, and that one was about 8.5 inches, and we're going to measure this one, but I think it's pretty close to the Trinity. That one had a flipper. It also had a top flipper and a fuller, right? It had a full cutout fuller there. Then this one, the flipper did stick out here a little bit in the back, I will say. So it was definitely a different type of flipper. This is more of a hidden flipper, right? Then you had the EFD, the Eutektik Field Duty, and that was 8 inches, much smaller, half an inch smaller, which made a big difference. So this is going to be relative to, the binary is going to be relative to what I would say is the Trinity. The difference is it has a fuller, the flipper is a little more hidden over here. It does have a top flipper up here. Again, being shorter fingers that I have, it's a little more challenging for me. I always find that the Field Duty is going to be more my liking. I'd love to see a Field Duty with the fuller. I love this fuller, by the way. All right, so let's talk about the knife. All right, the knife name, this is the binary. The knife manufacturer it's OEM'd by Riot for Liong Mah, and this is a budget line, right? The designer is Liong Mah, and it's part of his Eutektik budget line. The materials on this one is going to be a 14C28 blade steel, stone washed. You have a G10 handles, beautifully chamfered all the way around, no sharp edges anywhere. It is a liner lock, steel liner lock in there, a steel clip. You've got 2 standoffs in the back. Has multiple deployments on this one. It does have caged ceramic ball bearings in there. So it does have caged ceramic bearings. So the action's actually pretty nice. I will say that I would tune this just a little bit because it's a little stiff for me, but being that this was given to the channel, this likely will be a giveaway at some point to the channel members. So I'm going to kind of leave it as is because, again, this is a larger knife for bigger hands. I've got large hands with big meaty fingers, but my fingers are short. So if you have a large hands with regular size fingers, extra large hands with regular size fingers, double extra large hands with thinner fingers, this is going to be your grip on the handle. Still plenty of room. So I feel like double extra large, maybe even triple extra large with big meaty fingers will handle this. If you choke up, I mean Shaquille O'Neal handles, right? So you got tons of room. And this finger choil is huge. It's huge. It's really, really generous. So easy to choke up. Action's really buttery and smooth. The flipper, you get a nice solid deployment here. You can do the top push button, go down. You can do the light switch and get a nice deployment, right? This one here, if your fingers are a little longer, mine are a little short, so I have to choke up really high and be careful I don't get caught right there because this catches right there. So if I can get as high as I can get a nice deployment, right? But my fingers are a little bit shorter. I can certainly not reach over. I don't have that ability to reach over. Let's see. Am I going to be able to do this? Let's see. I can. It's tough. It's tough. Again, it is pretty tight detent. So, I mean, I would loosen it for my sake. Some of you guys will like a strong detent and you would really enjoy that, right? Easy to flip left-handed, right-handed. It does have a clip for reverse clip. So you can do left-hand top carry, right-hand top carry, tip-up carry, sorry. Right-hand tip-up, left-hand tip-up. So, I mean, that's the beauty of this, right? It is a captive pivot, which I really like. That does allow you a little more control in many ways. The standoffs are nice. It gives you plenty of room, easy access, easy to clean. I like the fact that it is a steel liner lock. And there's some jimping on there. Nice cutaway, easy access. There's some chamfering right there, so you can get in there. Does work relatively easy. Like I said, it's a strong detent. For me, with big meaty fingers, when the detent's a little bit stronger, it's a little harder to get in there. And I like to soften it up, especially if it's a top flipper. Top flipper should not be super, super crisp and super harsh. But if your primary and main focus of deploying it is the flipper and you don't really care to use the top flipper, I mean, the detents, it's not bad. It's not. And even the fuller is really fantastic. But if you like to use a top flipper, you definitely probably want to have a little lighter detent. It's a little strong for this. I think there's a balance you could be easily had, but like I said, I'm going to be giving this knife away, so I don't want to change too much on there. I'm going to kind of leave it as is. Yeah, beautiful, nice drop point, almost spear point looking, but I'd call this more of a drop point, quite frankly. It's got a nice swedge on top, beautiful jimping, very functional jimping. You can choke up, you can come up here. Definitely got some nice pinch ability, so you can do pinch grip. You know, you can come up here and you got a nice, good hold right there to be able to pinch grip. I love the fact that it's chamfering all around. There's no sharp edges. That is important. The clip, beautiful, comes in, pops up. I wish the screws were a little recessed. They do stick up a little bit, so it gives you, kind of a limited room there. So if you've got jeans, it might catch right there. That is a bummer, especially if your jeans are already starting to rip from other knives. So it'd be nice if they were recessed or just a little flatter. That's just my kind of like how these screws are recessed. It'd be nice if you could have a recessed clip. Or just they were a little flatter there. That's just my little personal request and personal preference. But it works. It works well. Actually, it's a really nice clip. I won't disagree with that. It is a steel clip. I do like titanium because I tend to bend them. So I don't know if there's a titanium alternate that will fit this. That would be good. That'd be cool to know if anybody has found one. I don't know. It is 14C28N. Great budget steel. So we'll talk about weight and budget and where it falls in. Right. Action is beautiful. Blade is beautiful. I like everything. So let's go ahead and do a quick weight. I'm going to guess it's 3.5 ounces. I don't know. 3.8 ounces. So 3.8 ounces is what we're talking about here. So, not bad, not bad. Let me turn off the scale there. And then we're going to see what's the overall length. I think it's going to be close to 8.5, just under 8.5. So we're looking at 8 and I want to say, 8 3/8. 8 3/8, just a hair above that, maybe 8 7/16. I don't know, maybe 8 7/16, right? So there we go. It's definitely under 8.5 officially. The grip without the finger choil, you're looking at 4 1/4 to about 4 1/4 inches. If you do the finger choil, you've got about 5 1/4 of an inch. So plenty of room for big old hands. The blade from the tip to the back of the scale is going to be 3 3/4, but the actual cutting length is about 3 1/4. So 3 3/4 here to 3 1/4 here. That, it's always important to know about your knife laws and stuff. All right, let's look at the blade stock thickness here. I'm going to guess maybe 120th, 130th of thousandths of an inch, 126 thousandths of an inch, right? And if we go down over here, about 126 thousandths of an inch. Pretty consistent. I'm going below the actual swedge, the knife swedge, below the swedge, where you get the full length. So it's pretty consistent in the overall length of the blade, which makes it a pretty robust blade. There are, let's see here, is there steel liners? No. Yeah, there's steel liners on the inside. Wait, hold on. I got to take a look here. No, there's only a steel liner, and it looks like it is an inset liner lock. Yeah, it's technically an inset liner lock. It's inside the G10 scale. It's attached over here by this screw and this screw over here, so that's keeping it in place. So that's interesting, right? Then also, what else we got here? Inset liner lock. We have nice, I'd say, really solid. So here we are. Go ahead and open up that knife. So we're at a good 20-25%. But I like it. I like it a lot. I think there's a lot of positives about this T8 hardware. T6 here, T8 on the pivot. It'd always be nice to have T8, but there's some physics behind that. Sometimes T6 gives you a stronger screw head, even though it's a smaller bit, easier to strip. As long as you got good tools, straight in, straight out, it should be easy to remove and to replace, right? So that shouldn't be an issue at all on the knife. All right, what does this fall into? Is it a budget knife? Absolutely, it's a budget knife. For me, any budget knife is anything under $100. This is in the $85 range. And a lot of times if you find like my code, different places, I even have links for all sorts of places where I have affiliate links and stuff. Sometimes you get 10% off. You can find it cheaper than that, but 85 bucks. I feel like I always like to point out that the Eutektik line, everything that they do, and since Riot makes these, this is like the most premium budget knives out there. I like that. They feel like the most premium budget knives. There's just something about this. You get action that's really next level. It feels like you're in a premium knife, but all the materials budget and the price is budget for what you get. Now, could you find something cheaper with the same materials? Sure. It's not going to feel as premium in action and the smoothness, the execution of the knife. I actually made the Eutektik Field Duty my budget, overseas budget knife of the year for 2024. That's how much I like that one. I think it's just absolutely outstanding. One of the best executions of a knife, in my personal opinion, for at least for my size hands. So probably the Trinity, if you like the fuller, and then and you like the normal flipper. Here you have the binary, which now has the kind of hidden flipper, has a top flipper, and then it has this fuller that you can use to reverse flick as well, which is really nice, I think. All right, nice and dead nut centered. Yep, it's certainly solid in there at a good 20%. There's no blade play when it locks in place like that. No pivot lash, and the detent, nice and clickety. Yeah, any detent, there's no detent play, so it goes in there. You can hear that. Locks in nicely, and you have a, it's nice and crisp when you deploy it. So there you go. What else about this? I would say purpose EDC use, hard use, collection piece. Absolutely. As hard use as you can with a liner lock. Remember, liner lock is not a fixed blade. It's not an axe. So keep that in mind. But obviously, if you're going to use this tool for what you want, cutting boxes, different things, this is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic, I think. If you're going to EDC it, I think this is the kind of EDC all day long. Is it a collection piece? You can collect anything you want. It's absolutely your choice. But I don't think a knife like this is a collection piece. This falls into the area of a, I would call it a more of a, well, it's a budget knife. So use it and abuse it and throw it away and get another one. Even though, $85 may not be that for you, I kind of consider that, right? Sometimes it's worth spending $85 on a budget knife that you can really use well and feels confident in how it's going to perform and execute. It locks, it works like it should be. And Riot does an outstanding job on this knife, right? So I will tell you that. So I feel like I don't think it's a collection piece in my book, but if you want to make a collection piece, you do you, right? But I think it's definitely a great budget knife. Overall design, what do I feel? This is a great knife, again, for longer handles, bigger hands. You could have my size hands, but if you have longer fingers, I think you'll enjoy this more. If you got shorter fingers like me, I would recommend the Eutektik Field Duty. I think that's an absolutely outstanding knife. It might be a little easier for you to handle if you find longer, taller knives a little challenging. But if you like big knives, if you like tall, big knives, no matter what the size of your hand is, this is great. This is great. It's right up there with the Trinity. The binary and Trinity, I would say, there's different aesthetics you can choose from, where the Trinity has the flipper that sticks out. This has a more of a hidden flipper. Both have a top flipper of sorts. The other one has a full hole. So if you wanted a thicker full blade, then the binary is just an absolute banger. If you wanted one that is a little thinner blade with a big fuller thumb hole, then the Trinity is fantastic, right? And so I think they each offer something unique, and aesthetic-wise and maybe functionality-wise. So overall design, I think opening and closing is great. There is a lanyard place you can put a lanyard in, so lanyard people rejoice. I love the fact that it's a reversible clip. Steel clip is beautiful design. I would love to buy a titanium clip if I kept this one, if I wasn't giving it away. I think a titanium clip would be really cool for longer term use, because I bend the steel clips. But I mean, you can maybe always reach out to Eutektik and see if you can buy another clip from them. I don't know. Opening and closing is just beautiful. Buttery, buttery smooth. Look at that. Just absolutely buttery. This is, like I said, this is, to me, you get premium design. Look at that control drop shut. It's just ridiculous. I think it's fantastic. So overall feel is fantastic. I will say, just keep in mind, for my size hands, for my length of fingers, this one's a little more challenging than the Field Duty. I would go back to the Field Duty as my recommendation if you find the challenges of a shorter finger, right? But this is a great knife. If you like long, big, tall knives, this one will fit the bill really nicely. I think you'll be very, very pleased with something like this, right? The action is beautiful. It's buttery smooth. It's fantastic. And I will tell you, I got this knife for free, so there's no request for me to give them a positive review. For instance, I mean, I could have easily said, "Oh, this is great for anybody's size hands," but I will tell you, if you got shorter fingers, I think the field duty is you're gonna love that one a lot more. You'll be way more happy, and it'll be a tool you'll never put down, right? It's one that at some point I want to get a knife for my car. I like to have a knife in the cars. My kids are still in high school, and they sometimes borrow my car, so I can't really leave a knife in the car right now, because if the car's on school property, you can't have a knife in there, right? So I've got to make sure there's nothing like that in the car. But that being said, when they do graduate, I'm definitely going to be putting a knife in there. And I really feel like, because I made it the 2024 knife, overseas budget knife of the year, I think I'm going to put a field duty in. But if I had larger hands, this would absolutely be a contender. I kind of like this fuller more than the big hole fuller on the Trinity. I like this flipper. It's a little more hidden, so it's not like a pocket pecker like Nick Shabazz would say. And if my hands could reach up here, this is a really nice. It is a nice top flipper. I just have a hard time reaching it. Okay, I got to be honest with you. I have a hard time reaching it, and I would tune it just to be just a little bit lighter on the D10 for me at least, so that I can the top flipper would be as equally enjoyable as the flipper and the fuller, right? But that's me, and you do you, right? Because you might like a really strong D10, and this could be perfect. And I recognize that regularly. So again, this is just my impression, my feel of the knife, but I will tell you, I don't think you could go wrong with this one. I think it's another great design. I think it's another premium budget knife. It is like the most premium budget knife. I think the Eutektik really handles that premium budget knife design well. I love the flow, the aesthetic. It's very basic. It's functional. It's got great tools. It's got great budget steel. Its ergonomics are solid, and the action is just what sets it apart. This action that you get right here, this buttery smoothness on a budget knife, is ridiculous. It's simply ridiculous. So I love that. All right. What do I think about the overall fidget factor? All right. Only because my hands are shorter, right? Only because my hands are shorter. This has all the fidget factors that you could want. You've got the fuller on both sides, right? You've got the top flipper, the front flipper. You can theoretically do the reach around here as well. You just got to get the right position there. For me, it's a little challenging, but I've actually gotten this down pretty well. So you got that. You've got the flipper here that works both as a light switch and then, and then as a push button, right? I can do the push button, do that, and then I can do the full light switch where I come across, right? So, and the jimping is just really generous. It's what you want to see on a flipper. It's what you want to see on the top flipper. The jimping here is fantastic. Nice edginess. It's not crazy sharp like it's going to cut you, but it definitely, any part of the meat of your finger is going to get in there. Whether you have callus, a thick skin, soft skin, whatever, you're going to be able to get that little fuller and be able to flick it. And I like that. And it works both with the thumb, left and right-handed, which is really, really nice. So because of all of that, this is going to get a fidget factor of a 9. I'm going to give it a 9. Yeah, this is going to get absolutely a 9. I'm only not giving it a 10 because it's a little hard for me to reach. I will tell you, the field duty did get a 10. Got a 10 out of 10. I really, 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 really enjoyed that one. And I felt it was like just the dream. It was a dream fidget factor sort of scenario. All the good things it has. This is just very similar. It's just, because my fingers are a little shorter. And I think if you have longer fingers, you would easily give this a 10. So I'm going to take that perspective that that's what it's meant for, but I feel like if you have shorter fingers and you're like, well, would this work for me? It really would work. If you want a longer knife, 8.5-inch knife. So if I needed a little over 8, I want an 8.5-inch knife. Would I get the Trinity, or if I was given a choice to buy one, would I get the Trinity or would I get the binary? I think right now I'd lead toward the binary. I like the binary blade shape and everything. The Trinity is cool with a big thumb hole. So if you like big thumb holes and you love that reverse flick, then you can make the call easily, right? You go for the Trinity, but I like this fuller. I think it's really cool. So because of all of that, being a 9, I'm going to give this a 9. And to be fair, put a little asterisk next to it. It could be a 10 if I had longer fingers. Okay, I'm being fair. But then probably the field duty might be a 9 because it'd be a little short for me, right? So, all things given, right? I would say, what is the fidgety goodness of this? This right here is going to get a 95. Absolutely 95. Again, it comes back to my shorter fingers. The field duty had 100. It was absolutely 100%, right? This one's going to get a 95. If I had longer fingers and this worked really great and got 100%, this would probably be 100 and 10 and 100%. then the field duty would probably be 95 and a 95, being a little shorter, right? So it's just keep that in mind. That's the where I'm looking at from. You know, if you got longer hands, you know, there's options. There's options. I still think this will work, you know, well even for shorter hands, because you can definitely get your grip up there. You can definitely use it. I like all of that. So, all right. Overall feelings. Do I recommend it? Yeah, absolutely. 100% recommend it. Yeah, no questions. I like the Eutektik line. So far, everything I've checked out from the Eutektik has been just balls to the walls, great, just really fantastic. So I like it. I like it a lot. This did not disappoint. I didn't have to fudge, lie to you, kind of, you know, be super generous, maybe not talk about certain things or gloss over it. I mean, I'm honest with you. It is a longer knife. If you got shorter fingers, it's a little bit of a challenge. Get the field duty. But if you like longer knives, you like bigger knives, it's fantastic. It really is. I like it. I do. I like it. And I think if I were to tune the detent and other things, this would be really pretty brilliant in my hand. And again, it gives you that option of a much bigger, larger knife, especially if you need more cutting blade, right? Which is nice. Where the field duty is going to be a little shorter cutting blade. You know, here we're dealing with what, 3 1/4 total cutting length, but from here to here is 3 3/4, I believe it was. The field duty is going to definitely be a smaller blade, right? So, you know, there's that. There's the give and take on those two things, I think. So there you go. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this knife. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button down below? Subscribing and liking the channel helps me produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you to everyone who watches the video, enjoys the content, leaves comments, part of the live stream, just part of the whole community. Appreciate you. Thank you. If you haven't already, hit that notification button down below so you can be notified of future content like this video and other videos. And a big shout out to my channel members. I sure do appreciate you. You guys are my workout buddies. You do 2 great things for me. You're like a workout buddy. You encourage me to keep going, even when I sometimes want to take a break. So thank you. Thank you. Secondly, you also allow me to do things way sooner than I ever thought I could be able to do. I legitimately and genuinely mean that. So thank you to you guys out there. You allow me to do some things that I didn't think I could be able to do, and much sooner. So I'm very grateful for that. It does allow me to, check out certain knives, borrow certain knives. You know, even have companies reach out to me and let me check out their knives, like this right here, the Eutektik line, which I've always enjoyed. I've always enjoyed. When I checked out the very first one, I thought it was a banger. It was big, but it was a banger. And then when I got the field duty, I was like, a knife for my size. And this one is another banger. I will tell you, between the Trinity and the Binary, I like this one more. I'm not saying the Trinity is a bad knife. I love the Trinity. I fully recommend that one too. But this has a little more aesthetics that I like, and I dig that. So if you're looking, if the Trinity wasn't quite the knife for you, this might be it. This might be it, right? So there you go. Yeah. Hey, again, thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the channel members. Appreciate you guys being part of this, encouraging me, allowing me to check things out, allowing me to, even check out Liong Mah's Eutektik line. Thank you, channel members. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm just so excited about the knife. And I do 2 things. I do a once-a-month members giveaway. So for all the channel members, you get a once-a-month exclusive giveaway. It would be better than the budget banger. This would be a budget knife I'd give away. You would get something a little nicer, though this is not a bad giveaway, right? But I would get you something definitely over the $100 range. Total giveaway. It would be something much nicer for you guys, something to say thank you. And then the other thing is I do, if you've never gotten a channel sticker and you're currently a member, whether you're a brand new channel member, been a channel member all along, were a channel member, became a channel member again, any of those apply, then I like to give everybody, all of you guys, a channel sticker and a little thank you note. So email me with your name and address, and I'd love to mail that to you. That's my small way to say thank you, okay? But you get the once-a-month members giveaway and then the channel sticker. Those are my 2 ways to say thank you for the 2 things you do for me. As long as you're being generous to me, I want to be generous back. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.